This is Andi Purewal for Boxing News. We're here in Saudi Arabia, and I'm joined by promoter Frank Warren. Frank, good to see you in good spirits. How are you?
I'm okay. Yeah, I'm all good.
He comes out on top, Frank. There's going to be even more demand to see him move forwards as quickly as possible. How are you finding managing that side and the expectation around Moses' career?
Just get on with it. Get on with it and do it. I mean, I'd much rather I have that problem than somebody else, that's for sure.
Obviously, I'm sure you've been asked recently about the whole Oleksandr Usyk situation. We've seen Turkey mention he wants to make Moses versus Usyk. I asked Ben Davison about it earlier in the week, and he didn't shut it down. He made out as if, it's a fight which, if it was presented, Moses has the tools to be able to come out on top of it now. Let me ask you, Frank, if it was presented, if Moses is successful on Saturday, would you say, you know what, if you want it, Moses, we'll get it done?
I would. For me, on Saturday, it's about how he looks, and then can look at all the options and make a decision. But until then, I don't know. As it is right this moment in time, no.
Do you read much into, obviously, Turkey wanting to make that fight?
Say again?
Do you read much into Turkey Al Sheikh wanting to make Itauma and Usyk?
He believes in him. He believes in him like we do. He believes in him and whatever. But, we'll see. There's no rush for me to do anything at the moment with him. What we're trying to do is make the right moves. And I hope we've made the right move on Saturday, which we'll find out.
Obviously, again, sticking with kind of the WBO position, Moses highly ranked with them. You've got Joseph Parker, who's the interim champion, waiting for his crack at Oleksandr Usyk. He's been as deserving as anybody as a crack at that man. We've seen Oleksandr Usyk has requested a delay to the fight to be able to proceed. What can you tell me on that front?
All I can tell you is what we heard yesterday. Well, first of all, the WBO, it's their turn as far as the Usyk who holds the 4 belts. It's the WBO's turn for the next mandatory. That mandatory is Joe Parker, which has always been the case. They've ordered that fight. He beat Daniel Dubois. He was told before the fight that would be his next fight, or he has to vacate. And they subsequently said negotiations have to start. We haven't even got to negotiations because he's been on holiday after his last fight. We've been talking obviously with his management, with David Higgins. Spencer's involved in it, and I've had conversation with Joe Parker. And out of the blue yesterday, we found out that they asked for a 90-day extension, 3-month extension. WBO said no. They're going to give him 30 days. So those 30 days will determine what happens. Now, he may fight Usyk. We may go to purse bids. We may do a deal, because we don't know yet. He may vacate. And I think all they're doing, the Usyk's people, and I understand where they're at, his management team and his team, is to keep all their options open. So that's what they've done. In the meantime, it's a little bit frustrating for Joe Parker. His brother was getting married on the 25th, I think, or 25th of October, and they're worried whether it was going to clash because we was looking at that date. I don't know where we are until we know what is happening with Usyk. So we've got another 30 days. I think it was next week, wasn't it? Next week was the end of the negotiation period. So they've got another 30 days to that. So that's where we're at. And in the meantime, we're trying get some answers. But I can't give answers for other people. He is the champion. He's entitled to do what he's done. And that's it. And unfortunately, it's frustrating for everybody, but that's the world we live in. And we have to be realistic. Joe is in a good position. Like I keep telling him, he's not in a bad position. He's in a good position. He's the interim champion. If Alex gives up the title, he becomes the full champion. And if he's the full champion, he'll fight whoever he fights. We can get him out easy. But until that decision's made as to what Alex wants to do, we are where we are.
I know it's all hypothetical, Frank, but do you think, from the sounds of it, there could be a scenario where, say, if Oleksandr was to choose to vacate, say if Tyson was to say to you, I'm coming back, and Oleksandr says, yeah, let's do a trilogy.
There's all options.
Yeah.
If it comes back, we'll see where we go with it. We'll just see what happens. I mean, but you can drive yourself mad thinking of all the different connotations. We can't do anything until the champion decides what he's going to do. Is he going to defend his title, his WBO title, or not? Once we know the answer to that, we can make plans.
Reason I ask,
and it's out of my control. I can't control that.
Reason I ask is obviously because of Moses' position with the WBO. There's also that potential outcome of, let's say, if Joseph is elevated, because if Alexander vacated the title, we could see Parker Itauma.
There's all connotations. As I've said, there's lots of things to look at.
Nick Ball, they're very entertaining. Nick Ball returns against Sam Goodman this weekend. What are you expecting from his fight?
Excitement. He's the most exciting. Well, he's certainly one of the top 2 or 3 exciting fighters in the world. He's always in an exciting fight, and he's in with a good fighter in the Aussie. But he fancies it. He's up for it. I mean, you've seen it at the press. He really does fancy it. I think we're going to get a cracker of a fight. But I've got to fancy Nick because I believed in him from the beginning, and I genuinely think that he's one of I think he's probably the best out there at that weight.
Nick, a couple of months ago, was being linked with a potential fight with Inoue at the back end of this year. It doesn't seem like that's going to happen now. He did say to me there had been small talks around it. What can you tell me about why a fight with Inoue just never quite seemed to...
Because it was going to be the end of the year or in the new year, and the fact of the matter is, he's got this fight, so that all stops because he's got to get through this fight. He's got to win this fight, and then if he comes through, hopefully we can resurrect those talks.
You feel like we could see that next year then?
If we can resurrect them and we can agree terms, I'd do it in a heartbeat.
Tony Yoka, obviously we've been seeing a lot of talk recently that he might be in the frame to face Anthony Joshua over in Ghana. Frank Smith, Freddie and Cunningham were recently over there together. What can you tell me, Frank? Is there anything going on there?
I haven't had a conversation about it.
What do you know then in terms of, has Eddie reached out or
no?
Do you think
what happened? I think Tony said that he wanted to fight, from what I gather, but most of the conversation is about AJ fighting Jake Paul.
What do you make of those reports of AJ and Jake Paul?
I think they're quite solid at the moment.
As a boxing,
but it's not my business.
I was just about to ask, as a boxing nut, obviously it's divided opinion. No doubt it's a huge fight because of a profile, but a lot of people would rather see AJ versus what people would deem to be a more credible boxing opponent.
Yeah, I hear that, but it's not my business. It's up to them what they're going to do. And Jake and Nikita, I'll make it no secret, they're friends, and if they make the fight, I think he takes away a lot of the things that's been said about him, that he doesn't want to fight anybody. He's jumping right into he's jumping into the frying pan and the fire. And it says a lot about him if he's going to do that. I don't know. I mean, I'm hearing all sorts of things are going to happen. We'll see.
On the flip side with Tony Yoka, Joyce, will we see that in the programs?
That's always a natural fight. But there's loads of fights. I mean, we're blessed at Queensbury with the heavyweights. There's going to be no problems making big fights for these guys. No problems at all.
Obviously, we've recently seen Daniel Dubois team up with Sam Jones, and we've seen Kieran Farrell announce that he's left the team now.
Yeah.
What can you tell me about the movements around Daniel's team?
I don't know, because I haven't sat down and spoke with anybody yet, because Daniel has been away in Brazil on holidays, and I'm out here. He's back now, and we'll get together either next week or the week after, and we've got to have a good debrief about Wembley and see where we go from there.
Only one more round, Daniel. Is Don Charles, to your knowledge, currently still involved? Or
I hope so. I hope that's going to be the case. I've not heard anything to the contrary.
But only ask you because obviously with Kieran leaving and the change with the team. Buatsi Parker announced Manchester, great fight.
Good fight, bloody good fight. Yeah, I like that. That's a cracker. That's a great card. And those light heavyweight fights on there.
It was a bit of a left field one. Daniel Lappin and Troy Jones, Frank. Where did that one come from?
It's a good one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a good fight. Where did it come from?
He done well, didn't he, Lappin, his last fight? And Troy, I mean, I'm really looking forward to that. I mean, that light heavyweight division, we want to try and get it going like we've done with the heavyweight division. And there's some great fights there to be made. We've got the big one, obviously, with Benavides and Anthony Yard. That's a cracker. And obviously all these guys, again, and I sound like talking about the heavyweights, all vying for position to become the mandatories for the winner of that fight.
We've seen the British Boxing Board of Control's recent circular saying Louis Edmondson, Ezra Taylor have a deal agreed. What can you tell me?
So,
on the British Boxing Board of Control's recent circular, Louis Edmondson, Ezra Taylor have a deal agreed.
So I understand.
I should hope you'd understand, Frank. What can we expect from when that fight is officially announced?
There'll be an announcement. They're working on that now. We're working on venues, but yeah, the terms, the border control, not telling stories out of school, is agreed.
And then just the last one from me. Ben Shalom teaming up with BBC. What do you make of their move?
I'm pleased boxing gets on TV wherever it is. It's good it's on BBC. You know, I mean, I grew up watching boxing on BBC. And I think it's 20 years, isn't it? They had a little bit of stuff from Wales, didn't they? A couple of fights from Wales. But, yeah, it's been lucky. I mean, you know, it's good to see that the licence payers, licence holders, payers, money, whatever you want to call it, is being spent on stuff that people want to watch. I'm pleased to see that. So, yeah, good.
You have obviously a stacked stable, Frank. There's a lot of talk at the minute as to what some of boxers' fighters might do. If, say, they become available, do boxer have potential fighters who you'd like to work with?
We work with everybody.
Well, Frank, I appreciate your time.
Pleasure, man.
Enjoy the rest of the week.